All right. Just gotta take care of this. Should be pretty quick. This. Gotta let the community tab know. Sorry about that. Okay, let the community tab know. All right, let the Discord know. All right. So, hey guys, welcome back to another live stream here. We are here on yet another Thursday night. It feels like it's been like 100 years since I last streamed, but it's only been a week, and obviously a lot has changed since last time we were here. Let me just to get everything set up. All right. So obviously we are now in a very different situation than where we were last week for a number of reasons. First being the fact that we are now in a final 8 situation, where while we knew from before that we would need to have like multiple eliminations, that we need to like speed the season along, with there only being 2 weeks. No, 3 weeks left until the end of the season. No, it's 2.5. My bad. So 2.5 weeks until the end of the season, and with that being the final 9 at that point, like we definitely needed to like speed things along. But obviously, it's like how they did it was just completely messed up here. I mean, they could have done anything. They could have done like a double eviction. Double eviction would be nice. They could have had a split house. They could have had the real, even like a triple eviction. Like I think that'd be fine. But obviously, they instead decided to go with this approach of becoming reindeer games for a week, becoming the challenge even. Because as you know, I mean, Big Brother is essentially the Olympics because we're different from Survivor. You know, Survivor, it's like they like to vote people out. They like to, like they like to like be about people and everything. But obviously, we're different. We are a Big Brother. We're all about the games and the competitions because that's what people watch the show for. That's why we've been on the air for 25 years. So through that, Rachel became the first juror. I still have her thing. I still have her picture right here, hidden. And you're now in a spot to where Lauren is the HOH, obviously. She put up Ashley, Morgan, and Will initially. Morgan won the veto. Keanu went up in her place. Now we are here. Now, I think beyond that, there has been some interesting developments since I made the video back on Tuesday, where it does seem like there is a flip happening. There does seem to be a flip in place to take out Will over Ashley, which is obviously an interesting aspect to it. So I guess we can like go through what that scenario looks like here. So let me just present it for you. So currently, as things stands, Keanu is still the number one target. Keanu goes home pretty much no matter what here. Where if we go through Ashley versus Keanu, I think it's unanimous. I think Ava, Kelly, Morgan, and Vince all vote for Keanu. Send him out that way. Comes a 5-0 vote. Will's also included in that. So 5-0. It's Keanu. I think Will versus Keanu is a very similar situation here. Again, Ashley's obviously a vote for Will. Then all these other people also vote for Keanu here. Vote out Keanu. And I think a lot of that stems from people seeing Keanu as someone that's not particularly useful for their games, someone who is obviously going to be an obstacle for competitions in the future. So that has not changed. What has changed is what happens if it's Ashley versus Will, which currently is the most likely scenario, I think, for a lot of people. So before, it did seem like Ashley was going to go out over Will here, because initially the votes would have been, you have Ava and Kelly initially being votes there, and while Keanu at least was open to keeping Ashley over Will, the question was Morgan and Vince. Now, obviously, Vince is a bit of a swing vote, like he is, like doing typical Vince stuff, like going back and forth. However, it does seem like Morgan got on board with the Ashley plan to save herself. In doing so, she has been doing some work on Vince, and it does seem for the moment that Vince is on board to keep Ashley around. Now, my bad, I had these for Ashley here. So, it'd be Morgan, Vince, and Keanu would be that third vote in place to take out Will over Ashley. But obviously, that's obviously assuming that Keanu wins the Blockbuster here. Now, we did also get a preview of what the Blockbuster is. Let me just get all these configured. There we go. So we know that is essentially the what do you call it? It's the one where you're tethered to a rope and you had to like maneuver yourself out to like reach the button. Like it's the same one. It's the veto competition from the BB24 double, the one where Monty won and Michael was sent out in that. And I do think that lends a bit of credence to Keanu possibly winning, as I feel like between Ashley, Keanu, and Will, Keanu's obviously the most similar in body type to Monty, and through that you would expect him to have a decent shot of winning that. Though obviously at the same time, like you have Ashley being someone who, again, Ashley's a bit on the smaller side. She's someone who you think could be a bit nimble, and through that she could possibly maneuver around the different like obstacles there to like get herself unstuck. So again, I think there's a bit of a toss up. I think seeing the competition, it's a bit more of a toss up here. Fortunately, I think Will has no shot at this. I mean, Will's obviously been injured. I think that's been a pretty prevailing storyline about his competition ability. And I feel like this is definitely not the type of competition Will would do well in, even without the injury, but especially with the injury. Like, I feel like he's just going to be struggling a lot there. So I am expecting it to be a battle here between Ashley and Ashley and Keanu, my bad. We got some people here. My relatives think Vince isn't gonna win, even though I disagreed. I mean, I think again, I think the biggest problem with Vince is the fact that he just doesn't really own his game. Where it's like, I think like he definitely like the way he talks, like I feel like he doesn't really like, own a lot of his moves. Like I think he also like really plays up like this like weak side to him, talking about how he's weak, how he doesn't do anything right, how like he's like an idiot and stuff, and it's like you can see like why I think you can see like why people will be tempted to do that, in the sense that it obviously like would make you underestimate it. But I feel like for him to like still be doing that, like I think it also like I think it's like a pro and a con. Like yes, it lowers your threat level possibly, but it also like makes it harder for people to see you when you do step up your game. So I do think at the end of the day it is like more of a net negative. And I do think in a lot of these scenarios, I think it might come back to bite Vince. Big Brother messed up with the twist they added. They got rid of Rachel. It was very bad. No one asked for it. Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. No one asked for this. No one asked for reindeer games to be carried over to the main show. And I think we probably got the worst case scenario out of that twist as well. trying to catch up with the episodes. I feel like watching the season live was a mistake, honestly. Uh, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like this past week, yes. Like, I feel like this past week was like very rough to watch. Like, I'll be honest. Like again, like I definitely have not been as motivated to like keep up with the live feeds and everything, but still keeping up. But I don't know. I feel like there were still some fun moments beforehand, like to where if you're watching it live, like I think there's definitely like some fun with like the whole Zach downfall, even the Riley downfall. I think was a fun week. I still think the highs of the season were like pretty good, but it's like I feel like this one twist like single handedly killed all the momentum the season had. And in some ways, it reminds me a bit of like BB25 with Zombie Week, where it's like you had this like really exhilarating like stretch where it's like you have like the house flipping to take out Izzy, and then take out Jared afterwards. But then like you just have Zombie Week, a whole week where nothing happens, and then you have Cameron coming back to the game. And mind you, like he was still evicted not too long afterwards, but I feel like there was definitely like a shift in that season afterwards that was obviously not for the better, like because I think it was after that point where like it really became more noticeable that like Jag was just starting to win all the competitions, and there really like wasn't much that the other side could do. And I wouldn't shock me if this is also like a turning point in this season, depending on how these competitions break down in the future. Yeah. Let's see. I wonder if Kelly wins. Is she better or worse than Jag? I mean, at least Kelly wasn't voted out. I mean, that's probably like the one thing I could give her over Jag, but it's like outside of that, everything else is pretty bad. Like I think she's definitely like if she were to win from this point on, I think she's definitely like down there with like Jag and Evil Dick. Like it's obviously like pretty bad. Like she really like I feel like a Kelly win would essentially be like a fluke, basically. The season would only be satisfying with a Kelly or Kiana win at this point. I don't know, like I don't know, like I guess like a Kelly fit win would be fitting for the season, but like, I don't know if I'd be happy with it. Like, I mean, I don't like Kelly that much. I think she's kind of annoying. I don't think like I don't think like the train wreck aspect of it would be enough to like overcome like like how bad of a game she's played. Let's see. Who do you favor in the blockbuster? Again, like I think I was just talking about this. So I think like just inherently looking at the competition, like you would assume like it would favor like smaller like body frames. So like obviously Ashley like would you would think would fit into that. But at the same time, like we also saw Monty winning this same competition in BB24. Obviously, Monty was a bigger guy. Keanu's a bigger guy. Obviously, Keanu's more athletic. So I do think I think it could go. I think I probably say Keanu's probably the favorite, but I don't think it's impossible for Ashley to win it either. I think it really just comes down to like how like quick she's able to like maneuver like through like the different like the bars and like all like the hoops and stuff. Jag only won comps in a very physical season. He did have a good speech. Was always going to win as soon as Final Five happened. Yeah, but that doesn't take away from like how bad his game is. Like, I mean, he was voted out week 4. Was going to be voted out again in week 5. He got benefited by the invisible HOH that allowed him to win HOH 2 weeks in a row. And then he even took Jag to the end. He took Matt to the end, thinking that he was going to lose. So like, I still think like Jag team is like pretty bad, even if he beat Matt at the end. Besides Rachel, who was the second most screwed over so far in the season. I don't know who's the second most screwed over player. I mean, is it Riley? I think it might be Riley. I think because if we're looking at the rest of the field, I mean, like Zay, no, like I mean, yes, he's probably someone who wouldn't be voted out normally in week 1, but it's like he was still put up through natural means. Amy, no. Adrian, not really. Uh, Jimmy, no. I think he did some stuff wrong. Zach especially no. Like he could have saved himself, but he didn't. Catherine, kind of like I mean she wasn't the initial target. Mickey, no. Yeah, so I think the answer is probably Riley. I mean because like he wasn't even like the target. He wasn't even like the target. Like I mean like there was basically everything at the go right for Riley to go in that specific spot. So probably him. As long as Morgan, Vince, or Ashley don't win, I'll be satisfied. Like I could give or take. Like I think an Ashley win would. I'd be fine with an Ashley win. Like I mean, while I don't think her game is like the greatest in the world, like I think compared to the rest of the field, like it's not that bad. Like I can see like your frustration with Morgan. Like yeah, like Morgan like doesn't have the greatest moments, but again, like her game is like okay enough. Vince, again, like I think like Vince would be frustrating, but it's like not the worst in the world. But I think Vince would be funnier if he was like a losing finalist. So like probably more in line with that. I think Rachel going screws up Will's game like crazy. Yeah, like it really screwed up Ashley and Will's game a lot. Like obviously, like Rachel was like a major like piece for them, not only within their alliance but also in terms of like winning competitions. And I think Will especially because I feel like Will like really doesn't have a path to the end at this point. Like even if he survives his week, which again not the greatest prospect in the world, but I do think like it definitely like narrows his path significantly after this twist. And I would say I would argue the same thing with Ashley too. Like I think obviously Rachel going really harms Ashley's game. She was kind of a target. So anyway, without the twist, how this week would have happened. I mean, assuming that the comp has, so assuming we still have like the same comp result, like Lauren wins HOH, like I mean, this is something I didn't really talk much about in the video. We are pulling back a sneeze here, like really trying not to sneeze into the mic. Oh, sorry about that. So I didn't really talk about this much in the video, but I do think Rachel probably would have been a major target in the future anyway, even if it wasn't for the twist, because even though I still think she was like massively screwed over by the twist and shouldn't have happened to begin with, I don't think people were saying that like Rachel was like set up to win per se. I still think Rachel's is someone who, depending on how certain comps would have played out, still would have been a target in the future anyway. And if we are assuming that Lauren still wins HOH, like Lauren for sure targets Rachel. She probably just puts up like what, like Rachel, Ashley, Will, or some combination of like Rachel, Ashley, Will, and Morgan, or like pretty much like everyone in the judges, pretty much. So Rachel probably would have been in the primary target. If she like came down, then I don't know. Does she still put up Keanu? Like, is Keanu still her backup target? Maybe. Yeah. She probably would have tried to backdoor Rachel. So like, it probably would have been like what Ashley, Will, Morgan on the block. One of them wins veto, then Rachel becomes the target. If the Vietnam stay the same, then Ashley's probably the target at that point. So, or at least Morgan at least. So, yeah. So I think either way, like if Lauren still wins HOH, that the judges would have been a major target. Um, though obviously, like it's kind of hard to like assess considering that only half the people even played in the HOH comp. But at the same time, it's like if we're looking at the rest of the field, it means like who else like would have compete? Who else could have like competed with Lauren's time? Like maybe Kelly. Where if Kelly wins HOH, and it's probably a similar thing. Like she again still goes for the judges. Like she still probably targets Rachel. So I don't think this week. I don't think the week would have changed that much had the twist not been in play. Though we're really like if we are talking like effectively speaking, like it probably just accelerated like the thing by a round with with like the added bonus of like someone not in the judges winning HOH in back-to-back weeks, which seemed like it could have happened even if the game played out naturally. But obviously, like with Rachel like being taken out right there while still having someone like Lauren win an HOH to final eight, like it obviously just like put an even bigger like disadvantage on the judges side of things. Um, let's see. Would Rachel be 3 or 2 on the list? So she's definitely number one in the boots so far. Yeah, I think she's definitely above like Riley on the player ranking of the boots so far, at least. I mean, by the end of the season, like she may move down a spot. Like, I mean, whoever ends up like again, like I still think there'll probably be people above her by the end of the season at least. But at least if we're talking about of the boots so far, she's probably number one. I want to point out that Rachel was never on the block for elimination. Yeah, like that's somewhat impressive. Like the fact that she was never nominated. Now I do think she kind of got lucky by like certain comp results and certain comp results where I feel like she probably does get put up under certain situations, but like I still think there were other situations where like she definitely like played to like avoid getting on the block. So I do have to give her at least some credit for that. But anyway, so we are now just a couple minutes from the start of the show here, so I'm just gonna have to get everything set up. Yep, that's fine. Where's my headphones? Um, where are my headphones? Are they in my pocket? Oh, they're right behind my computer. Got my AirPods here. Now just gotta get everything all set up. I think Rachel didn't get put up on H opposite H large. Yeah, I do think that was another factor. So like again, like I don't think it was like 100% due to her like good play per se. I do think there were like again a mixture of like good comp results, but also it's like mixture of good comp results and people just like not really like taking the shot. Hey, Will. So Ashley said no matter what. It is looking like Ashley stays over Will. Now, I still think Vince could be a swing vote in this situation, but it is gonna be like a 3-2 vote if Ashley does stay. But like, it is like looking like decently. Yeah, just gotta find my thing. Anyway, sorry about that. All right. So watching on this, see this. Can't help you with that outside sources. I gotta minimize this. So Vince wants Will out to weaken Ava. Yeah, it's like I think it's two things. Like I think that is part of it. Like the fact that like Will is like close to like Ava and like you give her like less options that way. But I think it's also like this idea that Will is like less capable in competitions. And it's like if you're Vince, like you definitely like need to start taking out like people like Keanu and Kelly at some point, and it's like Will's not gonna. If Will's not gonna help with that, then like you definitely need like as many like competitors as possible. Anyway, we're currently on the recap here. Yeah, they're spending a lot of time on the competition here on the recap. Who's acting like nothing happened even though fans are mad? How dare you say that about Chenbot? Isn't this so exciting? Vince mentioned how voting out Ash is a waste with plenty of people already targeting her. Yeah, I mean, because like you also have like yeah, I mean, because of like Keanu or yeah, like if like Kelly wins HOH and like she's going for Ashley at least. Yep, we're now seeing the BB comics, which as usual, as you expect, the comics were terrible. A lot of them, a lot of it's your usual fare, like lazy name puns and like stuff that doesn't make any sense. All right, getting almost done with the intro. Oh yeah, we're also getting a Rachel interview. That should be interesting. All right, now we're getting to Julie talking. Good evening, I'm Julie Chen Moonves. Maybe. Hmm. But first, anyway, now getting to post veto meeting stuff. You missed the intro. Yeah, again, I like the intros. Like, I like when they show them. All right. Getting Ava and Will talking outside. All right. So now we got Will talking about wanting to stay. We have Vince and Lauren talking. Lauren's so quiet when she's talking. All right. That was another scene that happened. Now we're getting Ashley, Will, and Morgan talking. We have Ashley complaining about Lauren. All right, we got Morgan very upset about the fact that Lauren's getting between her and her friend. Yeah, they're just friends, guys. Morgan and Vince. Yeah, as you know, Vince has a boyfriend back home. Vince has a girlfriend back home. My apologies. Do you think Keanu can Mike Holloway's way to the end? He could. I mean, I still think he has like some stiff competition. Like, I mean, I think you obviously have Lauren, you have Kelly, you have Morgan, all of whom I think are capable competitors. Particularly Kelly. I think Kelly may actually be his biggest threat to winning out from this point. While I still think Morgan and Lauren together, like combined, like I think it may be more difficult for Keanu to win his way all the way to the end than like Mike Holloway did on his season. Because like if we're comparing like Mike Holloway, like, I feel like after Joe left at the final 10, like I mean, Mike was pretty clearly the best competitor left. I mean, it's like who was he up against? Like Dan Foley, Tyler, like Carolyn. Like I mean, like I feel like it was a very different scene there, but I still think Keanu's probably the better all around. He probably has like more physicality than everyone else, but like I still think like if there's like other components involved that Kelly or Lauren could close the gap there. Lauren is modern Danielle in terms of jury goat. Do you mean Danielle Donato? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. can kind of see it. Like, I mean, like Lauren, like obviously, like Lauren wasn't like saved as much compared to Danielle, but yeah, I don't think she's really respecting the game. Anyway, we're going to commercial. Seems like we're not going to get another like segment of like the house. Like it looks like we're going straight to this interview, which should be interesting. Wins tons of cons, but has no respect. She's not taken seriously as a young, naive, indecisive girl. Yeah, yeah. I think Lauren is perceived in a very similar way. Anyway, I think now might be a good time to like update all the games and stuff. Which games are in an interesting position. So draft, we have the pool. So what did everyone pick? I feel like it's getting very tight in terms of like the pool and stuff. Yep. All right, so Will picks Lauren. Ordinary picks Vince. Inky picks Vince. Gargan picks Morgan. Skyrus picks Ava. Drala picks Ava. Vince. Lauren. Vince. Ava. Lauren. Vince. Ava. Switch to Ava at least. Ashley. Will. Lauren. Um, anyway, we're back from commercial now. Looks like we're getting into this interview now. Should be pretty hype. It is crazy that they're letting her come out of the jury house just for this one speech for this one interview. I thought this would have been like pre-recorded or something, like where Julie comes to the jury house or something. Okay, it looks like Adrala is the only person at risk. Yeah, it seems like they're focusing a lot on the Ava interaction, where mm-hmm. All right, she's talking pretty highly about Keanu. Maybe. Mm-hmm. I guess. All right. All right, and then now they're showing Julie showing her comic. And how sad is it? That's one of the Rachel's is one of the better ones, which I think is not saying much. All right, we just got the interview here. Nothing too crazy here. I think we're gonna get at least one scene about the flip happening. All right, we're now getting a scene. Okay, there's sound cut out for a second. All right, we got Ashley and Keanu talking. There's no there's no music. Oh, never mind. I can hear the music now. Yeah, was that like a gaff or something? So we got Ashley talking about trying to get Keanu to keep her. I'm just updating the polls right now, which a lot of people pick Lauren for HOH. Which I guess isn't shocking, but still funny to see. Okay, now we're getting another scene with Vince and Morgan. Looks like riveting storyline. And then we got some drama here between Vince and Morgan. How riveting. Got Morgan for HOH. Or Vito, I mean. Oh no, this is so sad for poor Vince. All right, update all the polls. All right. And now we're getting more campaigning over here. Edits dunking on Lauren, probably. Yeah, I'd say so. Like, not a great look for her there. RHAP put their why Lauren Rachel lost, and I put in the comments she lost because production sucks. Yep, that's one answer you can give. That's one reason why. Wasn't as broken as I thought, but I still agree she should have went out of vote. Yep. Hope next week will be Zingbot. Yeah, we haven't had Zingbot yet, which I'm assuming. I mean, if it's gonna be next week, yep, Keanu is pushing Morgan out to flip to the Will side to vote out Will. I mean, Edit Edit sunking on Lauren keeps portraying Vince as a weasel. Yeah, that last segment was not great for Vince here. Which I should remind everyone that Vince does have a girlfriend back home. But we are now heading to commercial here, where we are about to get straight into the competition. The Blockbuster, the moment of truth here. All right. Anyway, now we're at commercial. There's a game on tonight for NFL, so I guess I can turn that on in the background. Sounds off. Yeah, right now we're just at commercial here. But yeah, I mean, we've already talked about the scenarios here, where if Keanu doesn't win the blockbuster, then Keanu goes out. If Keanu does win the blockbuster, which again seems to be the most likely outcome at this point, it does seem like the votes are there to take out Will. I mean, this is a case where the flip does seem genuine here, at least from what we've seen. At the very least, it will be a 3-2 vote if Ashley were to stay over Will. Feel bad for Will going from a good position to losing Rachel, going the block, and supposedly broke his ankle. Yeah, I definitely feel bad for Will here. I mean, like, yeah, like that injury, like I feel like that injury, like, has played like a massive like role in terms of his competition ability. Not only his competition ability, but also just his well being in the house. Like, it does seem like it's not just not having a good time at this point. Who votes out Will? So the votes would be Keanu. I guess I can just drag these over. So the votes would be it would be Keanu. What am I doing here? It would be Keanu. It'd be Morgan, and it would be Vince. Those would be the votes to take out Will. Ava, Kelly would most likely be votes for Ashley. But again, assuming the plan sticks, it does seem like these three votes in Keanu, Morgan, and Vince would carry the day in taking out Will over Ashley. But that may not matter depending on what will happen here in this comp. Yep. And it looks like we are getting back from commercial now. All right. All right. We're now cutting to the yard. So we already got a preview of the Blockbuster comp. It's the tether rope comp where you have to like untangle yourself, get enough rope to reach the button across the backyard. We saw this comp on BB. We saw the same comp on BB 24 during the double eviction, where Monty ended up being Michael there in a position where Michael would have broken the single season comp record had he won that, but instead he ended up being taken out. Anyway, Julie is currently explaining the instructions. All right. All right, we are now underway here. So obviously, Keanu and Ashley are the main favorites here. Keanu moving pretty quickly so far. I mean, by far faster than everyone else. Will, they're focusing on Will, but Will doesn't really have much going on here, moving very gingerly. Keanu seems to be making quick work here. Ashley is pretty slow here. Keanu's just whipping through this. Yeah, I mean, this may not be super exciting, but we'll see at least. But yeah, Keanu is just whipping through this contraption here. Yeah, Ashley's just going so slow right now. But yeah, right now no one's really tested anything yet. I mean, obviously, like it's gonna be a while before you assume you have enough rope. Obviously, again, we can only judge by like how quickly they're moving. But again, from what we're seeing, Keanu is moving pretty quickly here. Again, just jumping and like moving through this pretty quickly here, like just gathering so much slack on his rope here. I mean, Ashley is moving along, and Will's like giving it his best effort, but again, it looks like Keanu has the massive lead here, already having so much slack on his rope. But yeah, Ashley's just not moving quickly enough. All right, cut to Will again. Not much going on there. Yep, Keanu is still chugging along here. Just so much rope he has. I think he really wants to make sure he can get it in one try. But yeah, Will's like going out to try it, but like doesn't have nearly enough rope. Not even sure why he bothered like going out to try it, but yeah, it looks like Keanu might be ready to like go out. He is like moving a bit slowly across the yard so he doesn't like get anything untangled, but like yeah, he has a ton of slack. Yep, and he is going to just slam on that button. And there we go. Keanu, unsurprisingly, has won the competition. I think. Yep. All right. But yeah, if you are just joining us, we just concluded the Blockbuster where Keanu, unsurprisingly, won the competition. Yeah, let's. Anyway, I should probably update the poll while we're here, while we're at commercial break. But let's see, like, I believe, yeah, so the poll, 90% of the vote was for Keanu to win the Blockbuster, myself included. So I'll just update the results there. But yeah, I mean that was not even close. Um, who's this? Stan Jones. Okay, it's just Steven. But Owen, Blueberry, Wisp, Ace, Jaylee, Gargan, Blue, and their Yep, 18 votes. Yep. I'll probably wait for the results. So yeah, so this is the Blockbuster here. Again, 90% for Keanu to win, unsurprisingly. The more interesting result, obviously, this leads into the more interesting nomination scenario. Who will be evicted? Split right down the middle between Ashley and Will here, and a lot of that coming down to like whether the actual vote will go through. So we have a split here over the actual eviction. The vote count is pretty decisive here. 3-2 vote. 75% of people voted for that. And Morgan is the clear favorite for next HOH. So again, some interesting results here. I thought I would share them at least. A surprise, Ashley was so low On the power ranking, you mean? Well, I had her so low because at least at the time I recorded it, she was most likely to go out. I mean, she was like the secondary target at the time behind Keanu. And again, even tonight, like I don't think it's 100% secure that she stays over Will. Or even though the votes seem to be there, like I think there could definitely be some like stuff up in the air. We are still commercial. Oh, I mean for Blockbuster. Well, again, like I think like Keanu is just a presumed favorite. Like I mean, if it's anything physical, then like you would assume Keanu would be the favorite in that. Anyway. So I talked about this a bit earlier, but again, it does seem like there is a plan in place to keep Ashley around over Will. The votes here, again, the votes to look out for is Keanu, Morgan, and I think Vince is probably the key vote here. So Lauren wants to target Ashley, right? But I think like part of the camp, from what I understand, like campaign is also like it's sort of like they're trying to frame it as like a anti Lauren thing to take out Will here. So I think that could be another factor here. So I do think there's definitely some considerations here if you're Vince. So yeah, so we are now getting back from commercial here. About to get to the vote. Probably gonna try to drag this out as much as they can, considering we still have 20 minutes left in the show. Anyway, all right. So Julie's announcing the results now. It is crazy they're still doing this at the final eight, by the way. All right, just announce the results here. All right, Lauren looks pretty happy by this result. All right, we have Will and Morgan hugging. Well, Morgan's just hugging everyone. All right, we're now seeing some interactions here. Mostly just hugging. And no one seems that upset or anything, and there isn't going to be much campaigning to do. They are just going to sit right down. All right. All right, so Ashley is up first. Ashley's pretty choked up right now. No commercial between the votes, please. I can't guarantee that, sadly. Anyway, Will's getting to a speech now. Again, Will's a bit more upbeat. Guess that Casey energy was good for Keanu. Well, never mind. Yeah, now he's getting choked up. Can't even speak. Imagine Julie just cuts him off. there's a shout out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have plenty of time. All right, all right. Keanu up first. Should be a vote for Will here. All right, vote for Will. Not too shocking. Got Ava up next. Should be a vote for Ashley. Unless like she was like made aware about the plan. All right, vote for Ashley. Not too shocking. Probably gonna go to commercial now. All right, all right, going to commercial. Yep, they just gotta drag it out because there's just nothing happening. I guess. Uh, kind of by the compass way to the end. I'm calling it. Wouldn't shock me at this point. I mean, considering we still have like one more week of Blockbuster, you know, like so if like we have like one more week of Blockbuster, that takes us to at least like Final Six, to where it's like possibly even Final Five, but they do like some sort of like twist or something. Which reminds me, it's like yeah, it's like so if we have Blockbuster next week, it's like there's probably not gonna be any time for a double. So it's like unless they had like the double on like the what is it the 25th? What's like they're not gonna have a double like 2 days or like 3 days before the finale. Like that'd be stupid. Uh, but I do think like yeah, I think again like considering the track record of competitions getting more physical as the end game approaches, I could definitely see a world where Keanu wins out at this point. Again, like I still think he has like some like rivals, but it's like if we are here on finale, well, I'm not gonna be around for finale night, but if we're like if we get to the finale night and Keanu like wins his way out, I mean that wouldn't shock me. I don't buy that Kelly wins the jury vote because I feel Rachel wouldn't vote for Kelly in the final two. Yeah, like I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to like how influential like Kelly would be, Rachel would be, because the players in the house are talking as if Kelly would win at the end. Like they're talking about it's like, mind you, is like kind of like in like resigned like begrudging way where it's like I guess we vote for Kelly because it's like if she's against like Kelly for or against Lauren I should say, then it's like are they gonna vote for Lauren over Kelly? I mean, because like they don't love Lauren. Like they see her as like kind of like this again, like some like a spineless player. So it's like again, I don't think she wins like every scenario. Like I think realistically by the time finale night, it's like I think probably like Keanu Morgan probably would stand out from a jury perspective. Like I think Morgan beats Kelly. I think maybe I don't know. Would Ava beat Kelly? I think a lot of it would depend on like how anti Ava Rachel would become in a jury, but we'll have to see him for that. Um, Lawrence hated, yeah. Kelly has Kelly played a good game? No one would have been out pre-jury if it wasn't for Blockbuster. No, I agree. Like Kelly's game is awful. Like I don't think a lot of these players think that Kelly's played a great game. But it's like at the point where we're at, it's like I don't think anyone's like I don't think I think aside from Morgan, I don't think anyone's like that massive of a jury threat. And I think like when we're in that world where it's like there's no like super obvious like jury threat, I think like arg I think there's definitely like arguments to be made that Kelly could win a jury vote against like a Lauren, against a Vince even. Like I think like people could like spin Kelly to be like, oh, she was an underdog, she won competitions. You could point to the way that she split this week with her playing all sides. Like I think there's definitely like things that could be spun up, and I think like considering the field, like I think those arguments like could be well received by a jury. So I do still think that Kelly, like with the way things are laid out, like I think Kelly seems to be a contender at least. Even though if it were me, like no way. Ashley's come so far since Showergate. She definitely has. A lot of them have come so far. Yeah, it's crazy the world we're in. Anyway, we are back now from commercial here, getting straight back to the vote here. All right. All right. Okay, we got Morgan. This should be a big one here. All right. Vote for Will. Sheen's pretty upset about it. All right, Kelly should be able for Ashley. All right, vote for Ashley. At least they're saving Vince for last, like the swing vote here. Like at least they're doing their job here. Okay, moment of truth. What does Vince do? Yep. All right. Oh, Vince. There we go. All right. My Hail Mary on the pool worked out. Yeah, I need to. Oh yeah, we gotta update the pool and all the stuff. All right. Seems pretty accepting. Seems Lauren is a target for the next round. She definitely would be targeted by decent amount of people. Anyway, gotta update. I should probably start with the. No, I can start with the pool game. Anyway, everyone's just hugging and saying goodbye. Usual stuff. All right. Anyway, Ava is very torn up about this. But yeah, all right. Will just left. Yeah, this has some implications for the pool here. Might need to. Yeah, Ava's really torn up about this. think Steven's also out because he ran out of picks. Anyway, going to commercial, but yeah, I need to like think for a second. Like I need to just go through like the pool and everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So Steven's out. He's out of picks. Ordinaries. Yep. This is a bloodbath here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. No. 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I just did that. What am I doing? Yeah, sorry, I'm just updating the games right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Yeah, a lot of people like a lot. Yeah, so it's like we had 2 people out, and a lot of people are. I think a lot of people got really screwed over by Will leaving, like because a lot of people had not picked. They have not picked Will yet, myself included. Like, I think a lot of people are just in a really bad spot now. 4, 6. 1, 2, 3. I'm just confirming that there's no one else out. 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay. Confirmed everything. All right. No, no, messed that up. We're still commercial, by the way. Just got back from commercial. Actually, we're getting to the Will interview. Yeah, Will seems to have picked up that he was going out. All right. Need to update the games as well. Okay, we're just in some goodbye messages here. Okay. All right. Will is pretty high on Ava. He's pretty high on Vince as well. All right. All right, we're gonna have a 2 hour episode on Wednesday. All right, now we're getting some Zingbot. All right, so we are getting Zingbot this week. Okay, so they are having a double. Okay. Okay, so we're having a Blockbuster and a double. Okay. Well, at least 2 hours. Oh, that's something. I'm Julie Chen Moonves. Love one another. Anyway, I just got to update the poll. So the Will people won. Pretty pleased with my pick there. They're just talking about Anyway, I do have to head off stream in a couple minutes. I do have something else I have to take care of, but I can just respond to like the chat real fast. Third season in a row with a 5-2 gender ratio in the final 7. Only way I don't see Lauren leaving next week is if Kelly or Ava get HOH or she wins Blockbuster. Yeah. Well, I mean, with a double, like I think that also like puts her in a pretty rough spot as well. Not because people were thrown by him. I feel like voting out Will was the wrong call for Vince. Debatably. Like I think obviously like Will was like one less person you had to compete against. But at the same time, like I think if you're Vince, like you had, like I think you're more so thinking about like getting out the comp threats, like to ensure that you, Morgan, Lauren can at least try to get to the end together. Again, like you need to keep Lauren safe for another week if you're Vince. No, we got one more week, baby. One more week of Blockbuster. Isn't it so exciting? Thoughts on Will's game? I thought it was fine for the most part. I mean, there were definitely points where I feel like he was pushing to get his way. I think there were other points where he kind of gave up and wasn't really like playing that hard when I feel like he was in a good position. And I do think he kind of got screwed over by Twist and also like his injury and stuff. But again, I feel like it's definitely one of the better games on the season. Lauren is toast next week. Not a guarantee, but like not looking great. Can't wait for Zingbot to roast Vince. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting. Probably come up with something lazy, but I think there's material there for Vince. I do think he was screwed over by like, well, yes, I do think Will was screwed over. Like, I think definitely like was harmed by it. Would not have been targeted this week if it wasn't for that. But you know, it's the game, baby. Let's see, any other thoughts? Yeah, I do have to head off. I do have something else I need to do tonight. But any other thoughts on this episode? But yeah, I mean, obviously I'll be back again next week. I do plan to stream the double eviction. Should be a pretty fun time. But obviously, yeah, I mean, we'll see where things stand. We'll obviously have a whole round of gameplay to get into, but yeah. And obviously, the plan is to continue like with my normal coverage. Like things are gonna be ramping up very rapidly, which is not great timing since I will be on vacation the week of the finale. So a bit unfortunate, but again, like it was like planned like months in advance. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much everything I got. I do have to head off now, but yeah, until next time, thank you all for joining us here tonight. I'll be back again next week to stream the double eviction. And until then, see ya.